Hey guys, it's Mr. Yi here. I'm here during your 8th grade lunch. I should be down there, but right now I'm trying to make this video for you. So what we're going to go over right now is section 2, which starts on page 96, and it's all about changes of state. So let's just dive right in. So changes of state. So what do we mean when we say that? We're talking about changing from a liquid, changes of state. Going from a liquid to a solid, or a solid to a liquid, or gas to a liquid. So all those different changes of state. So first, we're just going to go over these really quick. So a change of state going from a solid thing to a liquid, okay? This would be an example of like an ice cube melting, right? That's a pretty good example of a solid going to a liquid. Another type of change of state that we can also understand is between a liquid and a gas. Okay, so going from a liquid to a gas, and you can probably think about how evaporation is an example of this. And then finally, we have between a solid and a gas, which is a little bit more rare, but a solid and a gas. And let's also, and we can actually also make these arrows go both ways, because it can happen both ways. A little crazier to go both ways, but it's still possible. All right. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go over each type of change. So if I were outlining, right, being a good student, this would be a big A. This would be a little 1 right here, okay? So we have melting. A solid becomes a liquid. That makes sense, right? We have melting. When it melts, the particles in the solid vibrate so fast, right? They move around so fast that they break free from being all locked up in a pattern, right? And that's something you should remember from last time, is that we talked about what the atoms look like in all these different states, right? What do they look like when they're solid? They're all put together and close knit. And then what do they look like in liquid? They're free to move, but they're still pretty tight. In gases, they're just bouncing around everywhere, okay? All right. Another change of state between a liquid and a solid, which is more going from a liquid to a solid, is going to be freezing, okay? And I'll just also put these in here. Melting is clearly going from a solid to a liquid. And then freezing is actually going from a liquid to a solid. Yeah? Does that make sense, everybody? I think so. Um, Actually, when you freeze something, it's really interesting. The particles in the liquid slow down so much that they begin to solidify. Okay? And then, so the thing that we're going to try to have you think about is what's happening on the atomic level with each one of these. Okay? So let's keep going. A liquid and a gas. So to go from a liquid to a gas is what is going to be evaporation. Okay? That is that the particles get so excited that they basically jump into the air. I mean, it's kind of a weird way of saying that. Another way to go from a liquid to a gas is actually going to be boiling. Okay, and that makes sense. Going the other way from a gas to a liquid, I'll have you guys think about. Maybe you guys might have an example of that. But in this case, we call it condensation. And we're going to go over that a little bit more. So let's be really clear here. Evaporation, liquid to gas. And then boiling, that's also a liquid to gas. Yeah? And condensation is a gas to a liquid. Whoa, it's a weird one. We'll talk about that later. Um, Good. And then finally, this is the last time that we probably won't get to see this. It's kind of hard. Example of sublimation is actually going from a solid to a gas. The only example of this that I can think of is dry ice. Sublimation is actually going from a solid to a gas, yeah? And dry ice is a good example of that, okay? So here's my C. Hopefully this helped you guys. I basically went over much of the whole next chapter. This is your little preview before you guys do it, which will be, in class on Wednesday. But goodbye. Peace.